So the guys at Boltster were nice enough to send me this sample of a very cool product that you use to keep track of your loose nuts and bolts whenever you're doing an assembly, disassembly, or repair. It's a very cool piece of very flexible, almost silicone-ish rubber. As you can see, you can put screws, nuts, bolts, anything you need in this to keep them organized as you work. And a little extra bonus, yeah, attaches with magnets on the back to anything metal, which I think is very cool. This is a great little product. It's called Boltster. It says, let's change the way you organize. They've got a whole line of these different bolt organizing solutions, and this is just one of them. One cool feature, since it has magnets, neodymium magnets, anything you put in this little tray here sticks. So it has to be magnet. That's obviously brass, so it's not going to stick. But just a very cool way to organize your nuts, bolts, and screws. Boltster. I like it, and I'll definitely be using this. Yeah, Boltster. Very nice product. This is kind of a cool product. It's called Pull Start Fire. The fastest, easiest way to a fire. No residue, so it's great for starting your charcoal fires to cook food. It's a great way to start a campfire too, or a fire in your fireplace, or in your fire pit. So the way this works is, apparently you pull this tab first, and then you pull this red string. So let's pull the yellow tab first. Okay, so that gives us this green string. And we put this around a log, apparently. Get a splinter. Quick and hard to start. Woo. Okay. Now I'd say that's starting a fire, huh? Very cool. That was easy. A little scary at first.
Scared half to death.
Once you know what's going to happen, I guess the second time's easier. But that looks like a great way to start a fire. So did you know DeWalt made duct tape? I didn't, but they do. And let's check this out. Let's see how this compares with the normal duct tape I have in my garage. Now this may not be a fair comparison. This is the duct tape I have in my garage always. Not a great brand, never heard of the brand. Who knows where I got it? It's on the shelf. It's what I reach for when I go for duct tape, but it's duct tape. The DeWalt, let's check it out. So not a very scientific test, but how well does it stick to this block, the old stuff, versus the DeWalt? Do a little tug test. Okay, I had to pull pretty hard to get that off of there. How about the DeWalt tape? Okay, let's do the same tug test. Yeah, boy, that is a lot. It's coming off, but that bar moved out of the vise before I could get that off of there. Not the most scientific test, but I think that's pretty strong tape. Now this product is kind of cool. It's called Hang Nails. It's for hanging pictures on the wall in drywall. So it's got a barb nail on the back, so you can push it into the drywall and that barb is going to grab onto the drywall. And once it's in the wall, you bend this tab out and you can hang your picture on it. Let's see how it works. And I'm just gonna push this in. And it takes a bit of force to push it in. Let's try right here. All right, here we go. Yeah, well, that's hard.
You can push.
No, I don't want to. I've already pushed. I can't push it in.
Ah, got it.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call that easy.
No. Well,
Hammer and nail, you've been done by now. So we're going to push. And I will tell you, it's really hard to put in. I would probably at this point get a hammer, but this is designed to be pushed in physically into the wall. And I don't know, I'm having trouble with it. I'm gonna, you know, thumbs down on this one. Now here's a product that I think is pretty cool. It's called Identify Switch, and it's for identifying your multi-gang switches on a switch plate. So let's say you have a 4-switch plate, want to make it easy for an elderly person living in the house to know which switch to use. Anyway, what these are, they're switch plate covers, and this goes on the switch, and then a label goes here to tell you what that switch does. Let's take a look. So obviously it's for a rocker switch, and this plate cover is going to sit like that on your rocker switch, and your label goes there. The label goes on this tiny little plate. That then snaps into the back of the rocker cover, like that. And so the reason they have that little plate is it's a much neater installation. But now, it goes right on the switch. Do it as neat as I can here. And that is a nicely labeled switch. It's called Identify Switch, and the kit you get a 5-pack. So you get 5 of those covers, and you get a whole set of switch names, labels. And I already asked the manufacturer if Avery makes a label so you could do custom, and the manufacturer says no, Avery doesn't have a label that small. It's a pretty small label. So, but the good news is they have a lot of labels for every type of switch you could have, called Identify Switch. You can go to identifyswitch.com for more info or place an order. Great idea. Okay, this product is called Ear Shield Electric Pro Ear Muff. This model is RE23. The idea here is hearing protection, obviously, but it's not passive, it's active. It takes some batteries, and they've incorporated active compression, just like your earbuds would. And it has an omnidirectional microphone, so basically it can pick up the ambient sounds around you in order to reduce them and compress them. It takes 2 AAA batteries. Let's see how it works. They're like headphones. They basically are headphones, I guess. On one side, that's probably a level of, this is a audio jack, and I imagine you can plug into your phone. Let's put a AAA, 2 AAAs. Now I had to hunt around a little bit to find out where these go, and but the door comes off fairly easily. But anyway, we're powered up now. I guess the LED's on there, and we're going to give this a try. Let's turn on a drill. Yeah. That's very good noise compression, noise suppression. When you want to hear somebody, you turn it up, and I think the sound is actually, yeah, there's a microphone on here. So the sound is actually amplified, which you might want. And then when you're turning on the air compressor or the nail gun or whatever you've got, you turn it down to protect your hearing. And it's a very good noise suppression. I'm impressed. So anyway, this is called Ear Shield. And the folks at EarShield were nice enough to send me this sample. This is a Ranger RE23 model. Here's a product I think is pretty handy. It's called Repaint Tray. And the idea here, it's from Repaint Studios. It is a paint tray with a cover to preserve the paint in between coatings. So here's that cover. And underneath, it's a normal paint tray. And this actually is a very cool idea. So this liner comes out for washing, and then here's a normal metal sturdy paint tray underneath. But that way you're not going through the individual liners that you have to buy. Just use this and keep rinsing it out. But the beautiful thing about this is, let's say you've applied your first coat of paint, maybe it's dinner time, maybe you've got to quit for the day, but you don't want to waste that paint. Put this on, and now that paint's going to stay overnight and be fresh in the morning for you to start using it again. You can go to repaintstudios.com/recycle. I'll have links in the description below. Very cool product.